Yeah, Dad. I know we talked a lot about a lot of different things back in the day, man. When you guys were recording, I know it was great, man. Just all the stories that you're telling. But you know what, Dad? Man, you gotta tell me, how did you do that? Woo, when you guys are doing that dig and walk, man. Can you tell us a little bit about that,
Oh,
man?
well, you see now, LD and I, most of the songs that we would do had a story behind them, a lot of things, Like we got a lot of songs like the Whack Whack, that was our first hit. And then we even did a thing called Funky Duck. So there's a
Ah,
lot of things. There's a lot of things when I get to put my book together, what I want to, kind of let people know so they can get a real insight
mm-hmm.
on what the Young-Holt Unlimited was all about. But
Mm,
but I think you talking about that thing where LD and I put together to talk about dig and walk. Now
right.
this was the story about a lady,
Uh huh.
like they used to call them chicks,
Uh huh.
and very very beautiful lady,
Uh huh.
very very beautiful lady. And as LD say, she was super fine. She was super
Ah,
fine,
okay.
So when we hooked this thing up, we set a rhythm pattern,
Mm-hmm.
with the bass and the drums. Boom, 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 pop, boom, pop, pop, boom, pop, and I had that beat, that backbeat going, like he was doing boom, pop, pop, boom, boom, and he said, "Hey, Red," boom, 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 pop, pop. I say, "Yeah, D," boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop. He said, "Red, there's a chick that comes by here every day, Red, and man, she is fine." Doom, pop, doom, pop, boom, pop, doom. He said, I mean, she's super fine, Red, super fine. Doom, pop, doom. And I said, "Oh, D, man, you sound like Leroy." And all of a sudden, he said, huh? He said, here she come, Red, she coming by here again. And we said, here she come, here she come, but here she come, We said, ooh wee, we like we was looking at a chick, say, ooh wee, here she come, Red. She coming back again, Red. Look at her, Red. She look like she doing the boogaloo. Oh man! And that was during the days when they were doing the mashed potatoes and the boogaloo and the watusi and
Mm-hmm.
all those dances, they used to do. And like that was our era. It was our era. We were jazz musicians, but we had such an influence. We still liked a lot of the pop songs,
Mm-hmm.
pop tunes, and our wives, they would dance into the boogaloo, you
Mm-hmm.
know, all of that stuff during them days. And, Marvin Gaye and the Motown people, they were doing their thing. So we all had an influence on each other.
Mm-hmm.
I remember in Detroit, there was a place called the Minor Key, and that was on Dexter Boulevard. And a lot of the young artists from Motown used to stop through there.
Mm-hmm.
And LD was playing cello at that time too. And we were the Ramsey Lewis Trio then. We were the original Ramsey Lewis Trio.
Mm-hmm.
And LD used to have this thing where he would holler, say like, reach out and touch somebody, touch somebody,
Mm-hmm.
touch somebody. So it was always the thing with him and LD say, I don't know about that, man. I think we was doing that thing long before everybody started talking about reach out and touch somebody. I ain't calling no names on who really had a big hit on
Right,
it.
right, right.
You know what I mean? But everybody was drawing from everybody then.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the good days. One of these times I'm gonna pick those tambourines up
Mm-hmm.
and show the story behind the tambourines. See, because I used to make them tambourines. I used to feel like they were really real people, and they
Mm-hmm.
still people. When I used to do like the male and the female, and people would be saying, "No, that's the female up there. No, that's the female down there,"
Mm-hmm.
and I'd have it going.
Mm-hmm.
That was another thing, man. That I added to it, and I guess it stemmed from way back from the original Ramsey Lewis Trio. I think when I first started using them tambourines on a song called Little Liza Jane.
Mm.
That was an old folk thing, like Negro folk thing, like oh little Liza, Little Liza Jane, doom, 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 doom. Oh, little Liza Jane. Oh, dude, don't think I can't remember all them words, but it was something like that, you know. And I said, and I had that time, oh, little Liza Jane. See, I just didn't play it with my hand. I pick it, and then I brought them elbows in, you know. And the weirdest thing, I think it was in '59, our second time at Birdland. The second time at Birdland, man, we were playing between, let's see, Art Blakey was on the show, and Buddy Rich, two of my favorite drummers, along with Max and a whole bunch of cats. But these cats, you know, was the cats that I dug when I was young, was coming up, and so there was really no room for my stuff, my set on the stand, but I used Art Blakey's set. But I pulled them tamarines out on them one night, Jack. You know, because them two cats was cooking, they was smoking all around, so I pulled the tamarines. But Buddy was sitting right down front. I think Buddy's daughter was with him that night when I pulled them tamarines out. She was a little bitty girl. I think she was a little bitty girl. And Buddy looked up. I had them tamarines going up on the stage. He looked up and said, "Oh yeah." He pulled them tamarines. Where'd that come from? Yeah, you know, later on down, I got to know all the cats real good. I think last time I talked with Buddy, we was opposite each other at the Kennedy Center in D.C. A guy from out of Baltimore had put a festival together, and he brought it from out of, we went to, was it Carolina somewhere? But anyway, it was a three night thing, and he had Buddy on the last night, I think, at the Kennedy Center. We was booked there some kind of way, but brought Rashawn Roland Kurt. You know, he used to put the three horns in his mouth. Right. So about that cat, man, when I first saw him, I have to run that. One of these days, maybe we should get a thing going back in the day. Yeah, talk about back in the day, man, because with Rashawn Roland Kurt, I remember waking Rams up out the bed, man, in Indianapolis and said, "Man, you got to catch this cat. There's a dude down there with three horns in his mouth." And then when he took the horn and started playing without a mouthpiece, I said, "Oh, wow." Yeah, and I think that also that led to, I think Ramsey told Jack Tracy at Mercury Records about it, and I think that led to a session. I think that led to a session for Rashawn Roland Kurt. Wow. Yeah, that was in Indianapolis a long time ago.
And I heard you. I heard you say something about you're gonna be putting a book together, something. We're just gonna leave a little something for everybody before we go. You plan on putting a book together, huh?
Yeah, I'm putting a book together. That's one of the hardest things to do because there's so much material that I got, and so I don't know if I want to make it just one big book or make several journals. You know, because there's so much I want to talk about. I want to talk about the towns and the people that I know, and the people that I work for. And so much of that get lost. When you people do their book, and because it's not all about. I don't want my book to be all about me. You know, it's on the way. It's on the way.
All right. Well, we gonna look forward to that, and we gonna get on out of here real quick. And this is just a quick moment with the famous, legendary jazz extraordinary drummer, Mr. Excitement, Mr. Entertainment himself, Isaac Red Holt. By the way, this is his son having a moment, and we just talking and kicking it. Hey, folks, we're going to get back to y'all a little later. We'll see y'all. Peace out.